Is Eddington a win for Ari Aster, or should A24 stop writing him blank checks? Welcome back to another Movie Nights movie review. It is me, Dalton Burdett, with the amazing Nick Iricchio. Nick, how are you, my friend?
Eddington Lee.
I hated that, but you know what? It was a
Yeah,
good
that was a
try.
bad one.
It was a good
Hey,
try. It
can't all be
happens.
winners.
No, it happens. It happens. Obviously, we're here to talk about Eddington. This is the film written and directed by Ari Aster, distributed by A24, starring Joaquin Phoenix, Emma Stone, Pedro Pascal, Austin Butler, and countless others. And to give you kind of a brief history, in case you're unfamiliar with our channel and how we feel about Ari Aster films, Hereditary is amazing. Midsommar, everybody loves. I was a bit personally let down. I don't love Midsommar as much as others, though I hear the director's cut's fantastic. Beau is Afraid just broke me as a person. I thought that the first 90 minutes was the best dark comedy I've ever seen, but after that, I couldn't stand it. I was actually angry when the movie ended. And so going into this, I've had mixed feelings about his films, but I love Ari Aster. I'll watch anything he makes because he's making things unlike things that we see now. And so that's why, like, even after Beau's Afraid burned me, I'm looking forward to his next film because I'll watch anything he does. And this film is the first film in a long time where if someone asks me, did you like it or dislike it? My response is, it needs to be experienced. I don't even want to quickly respond and say, oh, how I feel or how I don't. You just need to see it. That's all I can tell you. And but diving into the actual review, so I do really like the film. It's going to be divisive as hell, and I feel like when the movie soars, it's on all cylinders and it's doing great. There are some things that the movie does that kind of falter, bring down the pace. I think there's an entire storyline that could be significantly trimmed down in the movie, and there's Ari Aster tries to say a lot in the movie, and it's appreciated. You're bringing up a lot of points here, but it's also a lot of points. Like, I feel like the ones you've already made are fine, and we can kind of go from there. But something I got to give the movie flowers for is this is truly the first film to viscerally accurately look at 2020 and describe how it felt like to live during that time. And it doesn't feel superficial. It feels very real. Like, it felt exactly how it felt. And like, if I'm ever like showing like my nieces or nephews in the future, like, they're like, what was the COVID pandemic like? I'm gonna make them do the craziest double feature of all time. They're gonna watch Eddington followed by Bo Burnham's Inside, and be like, somehow both of these is how it felt, and to really traumatize them. But you follow a character who traditionally out in the real world, you'd probably be like, ugh, I don't know about this person. And, when you go home with him, you see, his own struggles, his own, his ideological clash going on in his brain, his idea of self-worth, the family he's living with, and how that's affecting his everyday actions. You then see the antithesis of that with Pedro Pascal's character, and how on the surface it's someone that you'd kind of like and admire, but when you go home with that character, you kind of see how his life's not really necessarily in order, and he's trying to do a lot of things while also not seeming like the best father, while being annoyed by everybody. All the characters are really complex, and it's in a world that, in a time where paranoia and hysteria and just everyone being kind of locked up just was bubbling to the surface, and you have like the racial inequality stuff that was going on, and the movie holds up a mirror and is honest about everyone. So whatever side you are on with the whole COVID pandemic, it makes fun of you, and it makes fun of you in an excellent way. And the way that it kind of unabashedly holds that mirror up while also showing how it could have gotten to that point. Like, there are characters in this movie where you can see that the whole motivation for their actions was just personal relationships and wanting to feel connection, and it just having a domino ripple effect that leads to some crazy shit. And guys, halfway through this movie, there's a narrative choice that's so shocking that there were audible gasps in the screening that I was at. And from that point on in the movie, it just goes fucking crazy. And it was quite the sight to behold. I've rambled for like 5 minutes now, Nicholas, so I'm going to throw it over to you. What were your thoughts on Eddington, and was it a win overall for you?
I I have so many mixed thoughts about it because to me it's a movie that I think when it's firing on all cylinders, like it is excellent,
Mm-hmm.
excellent work. I think that Ari Aster still remains a fantastic director. I think the I really like the look visually of his movies, the sort of larger, wide lens view of everything. That when the satire was razor sharp, like the movie was just absolutely excellent. And then there were times when I felt like it was being very high level, and the sort of societal touch points that it wanted to discuss were interesting, but it did feel very cherry picked for convenience and not looking at a greater whole of some of the politics that were going on at the time, but still being such a realistic depiction of what was happening. And I think that it kind of works both ways in that I think that the characters are so nuanced and the performances are excellent all around. I think it might be one of my favorite Joaquin performances personally, just to have this sort of massive scale of, like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, there's so much happening in the movie that I kind of wish it was a little more tailored and narrow focused, because the idea of just the modern Western taking place during COVID,
Mm.
I thought was an excellent premise, and I thought that it executed that part wonderfully. It's when you get into the Ari Aster weirdness that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But overall, I think positive on the movie. I think I'm still kind of going back and forth on what I liked and disliked and seeing where they weigh. But I felt like the Emma Stone storyline, I don't know if I necessarily cared for it. I think she
Yeah.
did a great job with it, but it was kind of one of the weaker elements of the movie as a whole. And I kind of wish that, again, the movie kind of really focused a lot more on the battle between Pedro Pascal and Joaquin Phoenix.
Hmm.
And it was kind of a complaint I've had with a lot of Ari Aster movies where I'm like, he keeps making them over 2 hours and someone just needs to cut him off at two, because then I think we're perfect. But again, I thought the performances, the chemistry between the whole cast, like Joaquin and Pedro, I thought was excellent. I thought Deirdre O'Connell as Emma Stone's mother in the movie,
Yes.
she does a terrific job. She might have been my favorite character in the movie. I found her wildly interesting. And there's just, yeah, I don't know. There were some weird narrative choices that worked, some that didn't work. I like the sort of ambiguity of some of the scenes as well, because they kind of do some hallucinatory stuff in the movie, which makes you then kind of question some of the scenes you've been seeing, which I thought was a very interesting choice that did work for me. But overall, I mean, I think he's a terrific director, and I definitely liked this more than Beau was Afraid.
100%.
I have a lot of
100%.
weird scatterbrain thoughts on that. I apologize. It's just such a hard movie to like
Truly it is. It
to
truly it
to
is.
actually pinpoint a full
Yeah.
discussion on, because you could talk for 20 minutes about each scene.
No, and it's very true. And that's why Ari Aster is such a great filmmaker. But at the same time, like I have negatives with the movie as well. I do think it's way too long. You feel the length. The storyline with Emma Stone and Austin Butler, while it's necessary to Joaquin's kind of psychosis that he's going through, it does drag out and become too much to the point where there's an elongated scene with them where while I'm watching it, I'm like, all right, we can move on from this. Like I get the point of what the scene is. Like let's go. And the movie, like you said, it also has very subtle storytelling beats where if you miss it, you can be very confused as to what the movie's trying to do. But then you have to remember, like, oh right, they mentioned this, or you saw a visual thing that's supposed to mean this, and that happens throughout the movie. There's a scene at a house party with a noise complaint that has this very elaborate shot in how it's done, and the how that party ends. I'm trying to be like vague.
Yeah.
Is so fucking funny. Like I
And
was
the
laughing so hard.
and the song choice that they played during it, it's just it was such a very interesting song choice for the movie and just kind of
Yes.
what you're watching. What I will give Ari Aster is he continues to challenge me as an audience member, and I do appreciate that. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Which is why, like, even if I don't like his movies, like Beau is Afraid, which I actually did enjoy Eddington on a whole, I do know that I'm getting something that I have not seen before,
exactly.
which is what I like, and just the whole narrative choice of just pinpointing on the idea of like the echo chambers that everyone got into during
Yes.
COVID when it came to
Yes.
politics and how that changed every interaction with everyone ever. I
Mhm.
thought it was a damning look at the time, and I thought a very accurate look at the time, for better or worse with how they portrayed it.
100%. 100%. And like I said, I'm going to go see everything Ari Aster makes, whether I like it or not. But I overall did enjoy this film, despite some crazy mixed feelings about it. I do like it more than Beau is Afraid. I might personally like it more than Midsummer, just because I don't like Midsummer as much as other people. But, obviously Hereditary is still the peak for now. I can't wait to see what he does next. But guys, what did you think of Eddington once you had a chance to see it? Let us know in your thoughts and comments down below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next review.